Welcome to the news with me, Job Frank Chakaza. The headlines. Unknown youthful bouncers disrupt media press briefing by DPP to brass in Lilongwe. Officials beaten. 16 Dodma officials accused of mismanaging COVID funds remanded at Maula prison after court adjournment. Experts tip Parliament to tame rising government borrowing in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. And in sports, FAM orders regional football associations to conduct elective annual general meetings within 21 days. Now the news in detail. A lack of intra-party democracy in the former governing Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, came to the fore Friday afternoon when a planned media briefing in Lilongwe ended abruptly after some people wearing party colors violently chased its leaders. The briefing was addressed by spokesperson Brownie Mpinganjira, Party Administrative Secretary Francis Mpepo, and National Organizing Secretary Chimwemwe Chipungu. They wanted to react on the current COVID-19 management by government and give an update of party issues. Madaso Piri was there.
Have now been given the opportunity to go back and engineer
It all started well and then ended almost in tears for the leadership of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, because when the press briefing started, barely 3 minutes into it, a group of young men, heavily built young men, some of them in DPP cars, stormed the room at the Crown Hotel where the briefing was taking place and ordered everybody to come out, and then started chasing, even beating some of the officials, the 4 officials that were addressing the meeting. After a chaotic 5 to 7 minutes, calm was restored with the DPP officials gone, and then these people that were clad in DPP cars also gone in a minibus. They came by a minibus and then left. I must say that later on, the briefing was conducted at a different venue where the leadership, Brown Mpinganjira, the spokesperson, fought and accused the 4 expelled members of the party that they were behind the violence that took place earlier in the day. And these 4 expelled are the vice president for the party in the south, that's Kondwa Nankuma, the party's secretary general, Griselda Jeffrey, the party's treasurer general, Jeb Muhango, and Mulanje West legislator, Yusuf Ntenda. He gave details that the Central Executive Committee of the party summoned the 4 to a meeting today, which was supposed to follow the press briefing, so that they discuss further on suggestions that they should withdraw or their injunction, which they took to restrain the party from expelling them. So he says it's either the direction of the 4 or that their supporters, their sympathizers, did not understand what the media briefing was all about, that they thought they would be talking more about the expulsion of these 4. That's why they came and disturbed the meeting. So that's what the party is saying. We haven't talked yet to any of the 4 to get their side of the story, but that's what happened.
Well, in the courts, a senior resident magistrate in Lilongwe has adjourned to Monday a case which some 16 Dodma officials are accused of stealing over 4.5 million kwacha in allowances out of the COVID-19 funds that were allocated to the department. The 16 appeared before senior resident magistrate Patrick Chirwa Friday afternoon to be formally charged. They have since been remanded at Maula prison as investigations have not yet been concluded. Western Kota reports.
Senior resident magistrate Patrick Chirwa has remanded to Maula prison 16 Dodma officials who are being suspected of stealing 4.5 million kwacha allocated to the department for COVID-19 interventions. They will reappear at court on Monday for bail ruling. The 16 are answering 2 counts abuse of office and theft by public officer after they allegedly received allowances dubiously for a function at Linde Motel in Doha. Lawyers for the accused 16 applied for bail, basing on facts that the money purported to have received is only 7,000 kwacha each, and that they presented themselves to police without being hunted, hence cannot abscond. The defense lawyers, led by Pewani Nkata, said that the state did not submit enough submissions to warrant a remand. A state prosecutor had earlier prayed for the court to remand the accused for 14 days to allow the police to fully investigate them, since the case involves different activities and places. Reporting for Zodiak in Lilongwe, this is Western Ghouta.
Meanwhile, in Blantyre, the High Court has set 15 March for delivery of its ruling on a state application to withdraw bail for Norman Chisale, bodyguard for President Peter Mutharika, in the attempted murder case. The court on Friday heard submissions from defense lawyers. Haben Jalamano sent us this report.
Senior resident magistrate Patrick Chirwa has remanded to Maula prison 16 Dodoma officials who are being suspected of stealing 4.5 million kwacha allocated to the Department for COVID-19 interventions. They will reappear at court on Monday for bail ruling. The 16 are answering 2 counts, abuse of office and theft by public officer, after they allegedly received allowances dubiously for a function at Linde Motel in Doha. Lawyers for the accused 16 applied for bail, basing on facts that the money purported to have received is only 7,000 kwacha each, and that they presented themselves to police without being hunted, hence cannot abscond. The defense lawyers, led by Pewani.
Hearing of an application to have bail for Norman Chisale revoked in an attempted murder case proceeded with an early adjournment due to late arrival of state lawyer and witness. Defense through counsel Chancellor Gondwe told the court that they received back documents from state on Thursday, which state wanted to use as part of evidence on Friday. Gondwe alleged that the late submission was employed by state to compel defense to seek an adjournment to look into the documents, an argument that state denied. The defense then asked the court not to allow state to use the documents as part of its evidence on grounds that the documents were served to them late. Judge Sylvester Kalembera then ruled in favor of defense, saying conduct by state was tantamount to trial by ambush. This is what Counsel Gondwe told media outside the court.
We did not have time to go through those documents. They call those documents call logs. So we objected to those documents because of late service. We were not told by the state that they would be serving us with those other documents. Surprisingly, they served us yesterday through email. They never even called us to inform us that they have served us with those documents. So we objected to the use of those documents, and the court actually, in the ruling of the court, they actually agreed with our position that those documents could not be entertained.
From the state, Counsel Piran Masanjara says they have not found fault in that.
The witness which we brought today testified to the best of his abilities and also to the best of the documents which we had already served. So he spoke to those documents. We would, of course, have been happier that the documents which we served on the party, on the defense yesterday, were also part of the evidence today and formed part of the evidence today. But it's an application that the defense made and the court agreed with them, and we, as the state, we cannot find fault in that, which we have already given the defense and the court the call logs.
Judge Sylvester Kalembera says will on March 15, 2021, make a ruling on an application for bail revocation of Chisale, who is being accused of interfering with witnesses.
Economists have tipped Parliament to use the forthcoming budget review meeting to find means of taming government borrowing, which has worsened in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Bechani Chereni of the Malawi Polytechnic says, for example, Parliament should identify additional revenue streams for Malawi Revenue Authority, while economist Ben Kalua urges the legislators not to politicize the meeting. Joseph Mazizi has filed this report.
Parliament is expected to start meeting next Monday for a mid-year budget review amid COVID-19 scare. This meeting, according to economic experts, is very crucial considering the pressure Malawi Revenue Authority has to finance the economic blueprint. Dr. Bechani Chereni suggests members of Parliament should provide ways of increasing the revenue base by, among other things, putting in place measures that would revive sectors like tourism, which has been greatly affected with the pandemic.
We have over-borrowed, and the MPs, they need to check whether there's going to be some sustainability in regards to the amount of money which we have been borrowing. And therefore, the way we are going to reprioritize the budget items, it is going to be very important, and MPs will need to pay a particular attention to what the minister will be presenting. Otherwise, they are going to lose track. So the members of parliament, they will need to look at health, but in terms of health, it's not only COVID-19. There are also other elements of health which are being forgotten because of the pandemic. It's very important that we should look into that, education as well. And also, our agriculture, it seems it's going to take off nicely. We need to make sure that we are going to purchase the farm produce at the right price from the farms. So farmers, they will need to be protected as well.
Another economist, Ben Kalua, says members should avoid politicizing COVID-19 in their deliberations, but rather provide solutions to the challenges affecting the country. Reporting for Zodiac from Salima, I am Joseph Mazizi.
The Civil Society Education Coalition has called on President Lazarus Chakwera to dissolve the current University of Malawi Council to ensure a smooth process of delinking the three UNIMA constituent colleges. In a statement issued today, CSEC observed that the current council is compromised, hence could frustrate the process. This comes after government's position to continue with the UNIMA delinking process. John Pokayuni picks up the story.
The Civil Society Education Coalition CSEC feels maintaining the University of Malawi Council will put on jeopardy the process of splitting UNIMA into three standalone public universities. This, they say, is because the current UNIMA Council tried to foil the delinking work when it decided to halt the process during its 117th extraordinary meeting on January 20th. CSEC Executive Director Benedicto Kondowe told us they want President Lazarus Chakwera, who is the Chancellor of University of Malawi, to dissolve the council to allow for smooth delinking progression.
The action by the University Council left a lot to be desired because their actions were at reverse, because the powers to legislate lies with Parliament. And Section 48 of our Constitution is very, very clear. So, because the Council does not have the powers to legislate, they cannot have the powers to set aside the implementation of the law. Accepting the decision as taken yesterday, we still feel, however, that more action needed to be done.
We put this to Presidential Press Secretary Brian Panda, who asked for more time before commenting on the matter. On Wednesday, government announced that it would continue with the process of delinking UNIMA into three, namely Malawi University of Business and Applied Sciences, MUBAS, Kamuzu University of Health Sciences, KUHES, and the University of Malawi. For Zodiac, this is John Paul Kayuni.
Still on education issues, Teachers Union of Malawi, TUM, says it did not recognize nationwide demonstrations taken by concerned teachers Friday. TUM President Willie Malimba told us TUM supports and encourages its teacher members to boycott work from Monday next week when schools reopen after a COVID-19 5-week break. Apparently, both demonstrations by the teachers are mainly on failure by government to pay risk allowances to teachers and personal protective equipment. Hastings Jimani reports from Mulanje.
On Friday, some concerned teachers petitioned the government through local councils demanding provision of risk allowances and personal protective equipment. The teachers are also asking for their 13,500 kwacha balances, which they believe were embezzled by some senior government officials during training or sewing of face masks. However, their mother body, Teachers Union of Malawi, TUM, says it did not endorse and does not recognize the demonstrations, though the issues raised by the teachers are pertinent. TUM President Willie Malimba told us that TUM supports and encourages its teacher members to boycott work from Monday next week when schools reopen after a COVID-19 5-week break.
We haven't endorsed these demonstrations. They have just organized themselves. Of course, the grievances are genuine and they are our children, but we haven't endorsed the demonstrations. I think some people are very adamant. We have just left them to show their rights, but they are very adamant.
The Concerned Teachers General Secretary Aziz Losa said the teachers did not even consult TUM, which they described as a sleeping dog, which has failed to respond to challenges the teachers have been raising.
We haven't consulted them because they have failed. Even if we consulted them, they wouldn't allow us to do this because they are not answering our queries. So I don't see a reason why we can be asking people to consider us. Whenever we have questions, we ask them, but they don't answer.
There have been misunderstandings between the concerned teachers and TUM on several issues, and just a week ago, the teachers wrote to Human Rights Defenders Coalition (HRDC) to investigate financial mismanagement at their mother body. For Zodiac, this is Hastings Jimani reporting.
Well, as you heard that Friday morning, some teachers conducted some demonstrations, but in Lilongwe, police dispersed the teachers. We had Ainafe Mlamba there who filed this report.
This morning, some concerned teachers gathered at Lilongwe Community Center ground to hold peaceful demonstrations in an attempt to force government to give them risk allowances ahead of school reopening this coming Monday. They had planned to deliver a letter of grievances at the district council. With little turnout, the Lilongwe-based teachers were forced to leave the premises by armed police officers who demanded permits for them to hold the demonstrations. One of the concerned teachers, Newton Billy, who was also leading the grouping, told us that the teachers will map their way forward on the matter.
We are here to hold the demonstration concerning the problems of teachers as far as the COVID risk allowance is concerned, that the government up to now cannot consider them. Now, for this, it seems that the officers in security came and because of maybe the one who had some documents, offering document to continue a demonstration was not there, and they had to suspend the demonstration because of not having that letter. The letter is there, except that maybe the one who went to correct all the necessary letters did not collect permission letter to have demonstration that has failed.
Among other things, the teachers are requesting government to provide risk allowances, personal protective equipment, and their allowance money, which they are claiming was swindled by government officials last year.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
For a better tomorrow, don't forget to do the 1, 2, 3 with Colgate every night.
Precious things have a secret formula. While John is busy trying to impress, James discovered Tangu's secret. Tangu uses Purity sanitary products from Purity body wash, Purity hands wash, Purity body lotion to Purity dishwash. After a week of using Purity sanitary products, James won the heart of Tangu. Use Purity sanitary products.
The future is arriving. Uncolo.com Korea. Opening on 22nd February 2021 in Blantyre, Lilongwe, and Mzuzu.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Welcome back. You're with me, Job Frank Chakaza. Before we continue with the news, let's take another look at the top stories. Unknown youthful bouncers disrupt media briefing by DPP top brass in Lilongwe. Officials beaten. 16 Dodoma officials accused of mismanaging COVID funds remanded at Maula prison after court adjournment. Experts tip Parliament to tame rising government borrowing in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. And in sports, FAM orders regional football associations to conduct elective annual general meetings within 21 days. Moving on with the news. The Lilongwe District Health Office says shortage of ambulances is hampering efforts to serve a population of 3 million people that reside in both the district and the city. Lilongwe DHO Dr. Alinafe Mbewe Tambala has told us they are only operating with 20 ambulances against 40 that are required to serve people in Lilongwe. Andrew Viano's further report.
Speaking after receiving 12 million kwacha worth ambulance from K Motors, which will serve Kwagwanji Health Center, Lilongwe District Health Officer Dr. Alinafe Mbewe Tambala says the need for ambulance is growing as only 20 ambulances are available to serve a population of close to 3 million people. Dr. Tambala says there is a need for 20 more ambulances to properly serve people in Lilongwe, adding that in absence of these vehicles, the district is failing to register successes in maternal health.
Ideally, if we had our way, we would want every health facility to have its own ambulance. So we would need about 35 to 40 ambulances to serve all the public facilities that we have in Lilongwe. You can see that about 40 ambulances versus the 20 that we have about half of that. So the pressure is always high about the delays in ambulances. It's because we don't have enough.
One of the officials from K Motors, Mason Karim, says they have taken several initiatives to repair several ambulances that have been down for some time.
That initiative of reviving ambulances across the nation. So when we started that project and then we started visiting hospitals and all, seeing what goes on, so we said no, wherever K Motors can help, since we're already in the automotive industry, wherever we can help in terms of repairing or like for this instance here, we have donated, we will be there.
Malawi government kept on holding purchase of 300 ambulances following reports that the process was faulty.
Meanwhile, the leadership of some Pentecostal churches in Malawi has embarked on fundraising campaign aimed at reducing problems hospitals accommodating COVID-19 patients are facing. The move is being propelled by Prophet Shepherd Bushiri of Enlightened Christian Gathering, Bishop Guilford Matonga of Evangelical Assemblies of God in Malawi, and Bishop Malani Ntonga, founder of Word of Life Tabernacle. They have since disclosed plans to stock hospitals with medical equipment crucial in COVID-19 isolation rooms. Prophet Shepherd Bushiri said war against COVID-19 cannot be fought by government alone, hence the men of God coming in to help.
Let us unite as a country. There is a pandemic here that all Malawians should look at it as something that we as the church can unite and fight against collectively. There are so many people who have lost hope, so many people who are living in fear, and the source of information has become very relevant, of which unfortunately has been internet and has been a lot of speculations. We want the people of Malawi to understand from the Bible, from the faith. Our country is a believing country. Even our anthem, we speak of God bless Malawi, God protect, give it to be a land of peace. It's a prayer. All that is a prayer. So we are saying, and what I want to be proud of is tomorrow to say I stood with my fellow countrymen and women in standing as a religious leader together, praying and standing in combating COVID-19. So that could be one of the most important things that I would want really to see happening, to see us coming together as different men of God and standing in unity and preaching hope and faith to the country of Malawi. Our message here it is that believe whether you have COVID or not, we believe that God is going to heal you and God is going to protect your family. And this is not the end of the world. God is in total control. Just to correct you, I've not performed any miracle since I was born. I believe that Jesus is a miracle performer. And whether I pray, whether the miracle happens, it's not me performing it. I believe it is Jesus performing. And from my records I've gone through, that I have, Jesus has never failed. He is the healer, and he will still heal.
Heal Malawi of this sickness called COVID-19 by your mighty power. We acknowledge, Jehovah, that you are the Lord that healeth us.
Yes.
You are the Lord that
And now we move to sports. Football Association of Malawi has ordered regional football associations to conduct their elective annual general meetings within 21 days following recommendations made by the Anti-Corruption Bureau. In a statement, FAM's General Secretary Alfred Gunda said fresh nomination forms of candidates should be submitted to FAM within 10 days, contrary to what was happening before. Brad Kanyama's furthest report.
In a statement dated 19 February 2021, Football Association of Malawi has ordered that regional football associations' elective annual general meeting be conducted within 21 days due to the fact that the FOS EGM notices were already issued before the Anti-Corruption Bureau issued restrictions. It says that the Football Association of Malawi is putting into consideration ACB's recommendations, hence the decision to speed up the process. The statement, signed by FAM's General Secretary Alfred Gunda, further said the FOA will take full responsibility of the nomination process and that the fresh nomination forms of interested candidates should be submitted to the FOA within 10 days, contrary to what has been happening before, as nomination forms were being received by regional associations' General Secretary. The Anti-Corruption Bureau stopped all processes leading to elections for northern, southern and southern regions due to corrupt acts that were reported to the Bureau last year in November, but the ban was lifted last week and recommended that a fresh nomination process be conducted. Regional Football Association's mandate of office expired, but the FOA extended the term whilst awaiting ACB's conclusion on its investigations. For Zodiac, this is Bright Kanyama.
Well, that's it for now. Let's take another look at the headlines as we wind up. Unknown youthful bouncers disrupt media briefing by DPP top brass in Lilongwe. Officials beaten. Dodma officials accused of mismanaging COVID funds remanded at Maulo prison after court adjournment. Expert tips Parliament to tame rising government borrowing in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. And in sports, FAM orders regional football associations to conduct elective annual general meetings within 21 days. Visit our website zodiacmalawi.com for more news. Remember, COVID-19 is among us. Observe all preventive measures to protect yourself and your loved ones against the disease. My name is Job Frank Chakaza. Thanks for watching.
The wait is finally